You said what?
What did you think about Eminem's Killshot?
You mean the
Sure.
song? I don't. I haven't listened to Eminem song.
Well, do you know his song Killshot, right?
Is it the one where he disses like who's that guy that nobody cares about? Machine Gun Kelly?
Yeah, did you listen to Killshot?
Nah, didn't.
Why? I mean, you probably know what it is.
It's like modern day Eminem isn't that interesting to me. It's like I've kind of lost interest in rap, and it's like it's against Machine Gun Kelly, like one of like the most irrelevant rap stars ever. It's like, what did he ever like do anyway? Like he had like one song in like 2012, and people stopped giving a fuck about him after that.
Well, I mean,
And he's
I mean that's
kind of
exactly.
like Slim Jesus. When's the last time you heard somebody talk about Slim Jesus?
I know
Like
Slim Jesus.
that guy just disappeared from the face of the earth.
I really like Slim Jesus and Little Johnny, but again, they're just like a little Kylu out in Ohio, and Machine Gun Kelly's from Ohio, so it's all relative. But exactly, that's what Eminem said about Machine Gun Kelly too in his diss. I mean, did you like Infinite?
Yeah,
Did you like Eminem's first album, Infinite?
I think it was probably his best album. You know, a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on that, but I think his
Oh,
rapping was best on that.
oh yeah, Infinite was great. I love Infinite. I've been listening to it for like 2 years straight. I love his first album. But like, his whole disses from whatever talking about Benzino all the way to Machine Gun Kelly, it's still very relevant, as this is probably one of the most at least important things in the internet world to talk about. I think Machine Gun Kelly versus Eminem is an interesting thing. What?
I mean, to me, this is just like the whole Soldier Boy Ice T thing all over again. It's like
Like,
I don't even know where people who are like way more relevant are wasting their time on people who don't really like do contribute anything. It's like with Ice T, they don't even see the point in responding. I mean, it's like, have you even ever heard about Soldier Boy? What is he even doing right now? Nobody cares what he's doing.
all I know, he was under house arrest, and then he got off of house arrest, and then he was trying to sell this cable program, and then he still has his channel, but like, I don't know, he's older now.
Yeah, I know a couple years back he tried to make like a cartoon that for some weird reason had Alfonso Ribeiro, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing in this? I mean, shit. Does Alfonso Ribeiro, is he just desperate for money? Damn.
Well,
I
it's
guess
like
all their Fresh Prince, I guess all their Fresh Prince money must have run out.
it's more like yeah, well, yeah, he's kind of has all this money. I mean, it's just like it makes me think how important the rap game this is are just as important what's going on right now and like YouTube sphere as well. It seems like rap game and rap disses are almost more significant than anything that happens in the YouTube world, and you can learn about what's happening there.
Yeah,
I mean, like, if you think about from the earliest, like 50 Cent versus Ja Rule, 50 Cent provoking Ja Rule was pretty much just him just wanting to cause a fight with Ja Rule. There was no reason. It's just Ja Rule. I mean, 50 didn't like Ja Rule, and that was that. And then yet people say 50 Cent won the diss, even though against all rationality, it's like, well, 50 Cent just didn't like Ja Rule. That's the whole point. He just didn't like him. But anyway, it just shows you 50's right.
it's like the whole thing was silly when you think about it. I mean, because nowadays, it's like what 2018, and nobody cares about what 50 Cent and Ja Rule have to say. It's like 50 Cent had like one good album back in the day, and that's about it. Ja Rule had like he had that song Hollywood, and then he tried to be like a movie star, but he sucked and nobody cared. And 50 Cent tried to do the same thing, but he also and nobody cared.
Ja Rule was basically Machiavelli.
Their careers are kind of like over now. They're just trying to.
He was just a fake Ja Rule. He was Machiavelli. But Yeah, there was this kind of compromise 30, 20 years back. And yeah, I mean, it just shows you like you can really diss anyone today in the YouTube game and just get ahead. It's just like I just don't feel like it, you know? What are you doing?
Uh, I'm just texting Mike Marinacci real quick. He's
Who's Mike Marinacci?
you don't know him, the guy who was like on Star Trek one time, talked about like spirituality and a whole
Oh,
bunch of stuff.
he's nothing like John Danuget, is he?
God no, John the Nugget was never on Star Truth. Thank God.
Yeah. So what's he like? The guy you're texting?
It's kind of cool. I mean, he's an interesting guy.
Anybody else interesting you're talking to recently?
Uh, Crap. I guess Konstantin von Hopsmeister and who else? Michael Bell.
Michael Bell? Are you serious?
You talking about the wait? You mean the black guy, right?
No, Michael Bell's a white dude.
Oh no, not that dude. This is another Michael Bell.
Like Michael Bell from Countercurrents.
What? No, no. This guy I'm talking about is like a black dude who's kind of like a libertarian anarchist dude. I think he owns his own business in Florida. Hell no.
All right, yeah, I know Michael
I
Bell.
don't even know that much about that Michael Bell. I mean, I don't even know if he has a Facebook account.
Michael Bell from Countercurrents is kind of a dick, and he does whatever. But I haven't talked to him since. So
Yeah, from my experience, most of the people from Countercurrents have a tendency to be kind of dickish, except for Chris Donnellan and Chad Crowley, and that's about it.
you know, I only read Countercurrents nowadays. I just have lost interest in everything, and I've kind of became a recluse, and I just like go on Countercurrents
You
during.
know, I've kind of lost interest in Countercurrents, to be honest. There was a time in my life where I like read it like every Monday just to see
Yeah,
what they were going to update, but it
that was
became
me.
kind of boring.
Well, yeah, because it
It,
gets to you, and it's just like whatever. It's the
and
same
to me,
thing over and over
you
again.
know, and like
What? Hello? No, we're having some interruption here, folks. You're breaking up, Cartrell. Can you hear me? Oh my god.
like have some DVD, man.
I can hear you. What was that, Cartrell? What was that? I didn't hear you. Well, anyway, I just
Oh yeah, yeah. You should comment on my post on like Facebook. They're really interesting.
I know. I mean, I just on
So,
Facebook, you're part of my Facebook chat, right? You're part of my Facebook chat.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I'm in my Facebook chat, I just comment from there. I don't even care about anything else, but um I just haven't like I don't know. I'm just busy trying to make a new album and trying to think of new music, and I'm like up and down with my emotions and just nostalgic 90s posts. You're just posting Disney stuff on your account.
Yeah, I don't know, but recently I just wished I could be a child again. When I was younger, my mom always used to say, another adult, oh, you're gonna wish you were a kid again. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm like 9 years old. I gotta go to sleep at 10 o'clock. You know, I can't really do anything. Yeah, I'm totally gonna miss this bullshit. Whatever. But now I'm like, man, I wish I was 9 years old again. Wish I could just wake up in the morning, watch American Dragon, Jake Long, and I don't know, eat a pizza or something.
Doug's
Whatever.
first movie. Happy
You said
24
what?
hours? No, I'm just looking at your wall. What you've been posting. You're just punching a bunch of Disney movies. Oh my God,
Oh
Michael
well, there's a lot.
Frost.
No, yeah, I just got tired of posting about politics, so I just kind of posted about cultural stuff. Like stuff that pop culture stuff. Like Brandon Adamson, I've just kind of lost interest in politics. It's just like it doesn't even interest me anymore. It's kind
No,
of like,
Brandon Anderson's great. Brandon Anderson does the same thing you're doing. It's just like recluse culture critic, really. It's kind of like my thing now. I'm a recluse culture critic. You know, it's like, what could I say, right?
yeah, it's like, I mean,
What's your criticism against Rabbit?
like you said, what's my criticism against Rabbit?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any criticisms against him. I kind of like him.
Yeah, that's why I say I don't have criticism against him. I like him. Like, there's no, it's like, whatever, you know? I like Rabbit, you know? I just,
I just wish he, I just wish he would write a book about like his nostalgic experiences. I mean, that's one book that I would totally buy. You know, that would just be awesome.
interesting. I mean, um, like, I think everybody's now in a point where everyone's just like trying to do their own artwork and just everyone's kind of just giving each other space, right? Today, like, I just remember the alt-right or like the far right sphere being very open-minded like 2 years ago. And now today it's like just it's really hectic and crazy and just became one transgressive orgy. And it's like you really can't have friends anymore in this group. It's like everyone's now separate. And it's just like, I could get up and like buy a Big Man Tyrone commercial or appear on JF Garpy. I tried many times and I could get on a show. It's just like I don't feel like it, man. It's just like, I'm just like, whatever. I'm just like laid back, but I want to like go back with an album or get back with a book, and just go around making rounds, starting disses, right? Just so I can get
Yeah,
up the subs again, It's whatever.
yeah, I get you. I mean, me, I just want to watch Cat Dog. I don't care about any of this political stuff.
Cat Dog's interesting, but I don't know. That show gave me headaches.
How so?
It's just like I like it. I remember the movie too, but like I remember being like 10 years old and like every episode would be like some weird one shot and like the characters were like out of touch. And like I don't know, Cat Dog is just one of those shows where it's like, why is this a Nickelodeon cartoon? Like Bill West and Jim Cummings, they're funny, but they're just like they don't go together, like spaghetti and like pasta. No, like spaghetti and milk.
Yeah, I like Jim Cummings. His voice is recognizable.
Hey
Like I
kid.
think he does like the voice of like Lord Boxman now on like um what is it? OKKO.
That's because it's like a Jim Cummings revival. I love OKKO a lot.
Oh,
What? You're breaking up again.
I
Like,
mean, what does that even mean? Jim Cummings revival?
well, it's because it's like he hasn't been doing voice acting for over 10 years, and like he's now on the show, ironically, as like Dr. Robotnik, but he's like Lord Barksmore. It's like a joke about his own career when we were growing up watching him. All right.
Yeah, you were born in '91, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born in '95, so you're like older than me.
A few years, but not that much. I mean, like,
Yeah, I was like 6.
I
Yeah, I don't
remember,
know if you ever watched like a Adult Swim.
I remember things from 98. Like, I remember in 1998, my elementary school would have packs of original 1996 Netrunner cards and foil packs, and I would open them up for like, and I didn't even know what the hell Netrunner was. It's like an old collectible card game. I remember there was like the 1994 or 96, the classic Dungeons and Dragons box set. It wasn't like the Frank Menser's Dungeons and Dragons from 80s. It was like the 90s, like everyone forgets about. And I remember like weird shit like Reboot being on and like cable TV and like when Nickelodeon was like weird live action like 90s bob cut kids and skateboards like I and Kablam. I just remember that period like and it was just like weird. Like literally I have photographs of like me when I was like 8 or 9 in the 90s or 6 and 7 and I remember these things like being in Margate, New Jersey and being like what? It's just like it was a different time, really, a different period.
Yeah, Hey, do you know? Do you remember that there was a lot of shows that ripped off Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back in the day, like Mummy's Alive.
Well, there's also Biker Mike's from Mars, Biker,
Oh yeah, that show sucked ass.
and Street Sharks. I remember Street Sharks. I had the toy.
Oh, that show sucked even more ass.
I had that.
Wow.
I had the toys in kindergarten, and one time my these kids were bullying me, and my dad told me, "No, you should go back there and bring a toy that you like and make kids jealous of your said toy." And then he got me like a Street Sharks like monster truck, and I brought it into school. I was like 5 or something, and I was rolling it around, and the kid says, "That's cool. Can I have it?" And I gave it to him. So talk about cuckoldedness in a sentence, you know?
That's so dumb. I mean, why would he even want something that's from Street Sharks? It's like that's like some low grade stuff, man.
Yeah, it's lower. It's not lower class. It was just middle class money capitalism byproduct of not having the
No,
real.
I'm not talking about like in a capitalistic way. I mean like in a quality TV show way. I mean that just kind
That's
of
really
sucks.
what it boils down to. If your parents can't afford Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they can't afford Street Sharks, right? It's like when is there the affordable thing? That it's like if you can't afford the best, you can find the lower quality thing, and that's like a byproduct of capitalism. And people like are just struggling with money, and everything is your happiness is based upon how much money you can spend. You know?
Hey, have you ever watched Secular Talk with Kyle Kalinske? I've kind of been getting into the show recently. I kind of like it.
No, I
I mean, I
haven't.
don't agree with what he says, but I like it. It's like one of my favorite political shows to watch on YouTube now.
Hmm.
Well, then the Jimmy Dore show. I mean, because Kyle Kalinske, he's not like a milk toast liberal. He'll actually call out the bullshit Republicans.
Hmm. I haven't watched. Oh. Um. Yeah. I mean, it's whatever.
Well, you should watch the episode where he criticized when Trump made Big Carson like housing and urban development. That was a funny episode because it's like Ben Carson is so stupid, which is amazing because he used to be a doctor. It's like, how can a doctor be so stupid? He doesn't really know anything except maybe like doing brain surgery, and even that's debatable. I mean,
hmm. So
it,
whatever.
he's so stupid, man.
No,
He's Ben Carson. I sound like I'm about to go to sleep, but you should take me seriously. I should have been the president. It was like, hell no, bro. I mean, Trump sucks, but you would have been even worse, man. Fuck now.
Oh
Hey,
well.
go drink some milk and eat some cookies. Go somewhere, man.
So I'm on the front page of Countercurrents right now, and there's a new article by Greg Johnson called "Blaming Your."
Front page.
And he's talking about
Things now.
it's on Countercurrents. It's by Greg Johnson. It's called "Blaming Your Parents." Let me read it. It says
Wait,
in the
you wrote
past,
that? I just read that like a few hours ago. You wrote that?
I didn't write. No, Greg Johnson wrote that, and I'm trying to read it right now. It says in the past, people used to blame the gods or the fate for their misfortune. These days, they like to blame their parents. Quote: "My parents were sedentary and fat, and they're bad examples why I grew up sedent." I gotta look up that word right now. Sorry. Sometimes when I don't understand words, I put them in my dictionary. Seated, sedentary. I gotta. Sorry about that. Let me record this word. All right. And he also says, "My father was always uptight, and now I'm uptight and I can't enjoy life. Growing up with a mother who drank, it was natural that I would take drink as well. My father never praised me for anything, which is why I lack self-esteem. My parents gave me up for adoption, which is why I have trouble forming close bonds with people today." And so forth. Um, let me read it actually. All of these arguments assume that the parents did something wrong. They all assume the premise: if my parents had done something different, I would not have these problems. The underlying assumption of the premise is nurturism, the ideal that our upbringing is what accounts for most of our psychological traits. I mean, if you've listened to the recent new episode of The Stark Truth, when he was interviewing Joshua Zeidner, they were talking about the Bobos, or the Bohemians and bourgeois people, right? And the Bobos are
Yeah,
basically people who had the best parents who were nurturing, and that's kind of a bell curve argument. But I think Greg Johnson, he's going to talk about nurturing. And he says, nurturism, of course, is intuitively plausible. Obviously, the things we are exposed to life will have some effect on us. Otherwise, why would we have a sense in the first place? But it turns out a lot of our basic personality traits, including the things that we're inclined to blame our parents are hereditary. So he's going to say something about genetics, because Greg Johnson, is a white supremacist, right? And
yeah, he is kind of one.
no, he is a white supremacist. He just said it in the white national.
Well, yeah,
He believes whites are just inherently better, and white people are so great they need to be like bosses or police officers of the world, but not in a way where it's like white privilege, but in a way of like uphold towards civilization. So it's like Greg Johnson's okay with the transgressive white supremacist notation, He has all these facts to blame it up on. And now, for my purposes here, one does not need to believe that all our tastes and personality traits are hereditary. One simply needs to accept the possibility that the traits you blame your parents for are hereditary. Just try the ideal on for size. Maybe the reason you and your parents are sedentary and fat is because you have genes for those traits. So Johnson really believes you're fat if your parents are fat, right there. Maybe the reason you and your father are uptight and can't enjoy life is because you have both genes for those traits. Maybe.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's not scientific.
I know, he's just saying because Johnson believes genes are everything. He's a eugenicist. He believes also not technically eugenicist, but genes are more important. Maybe you and your mother are drinkers because you both have genes for alcoholism. Well, I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke cigarettes, and my dad and my mom have done it before, and I'm able to deal with it. I was able to sustain myself from that. Maybe your father did not praise you because he saw you too much of himself in you. In other words, you both had low self-esteem, and maybe it's genetic. Low self-esteem and anxiety could be biological, but again, it can be overcome through the wiring of the brain. I'm not saying cognitive therapy, but it's definitely maybe the reason your parents gave you up for adoption is they had trouble forming an attachment to you, which means that your difficulty in forming attachment might be genetic. Again, I think Johnson's saying something very controversial for blaming your parents, because like I would be contra to Johnson and say blaming your parents is basically the truth. Like if you have a serial killer father, or if you have a father who abused and raped you, why do you think it's okay to say the son is going to be an abuse? And it pretty much goes against the whole like police mentality of every child born is innocent, right? If a mother has two children and she kills the children and she's not guilty for it, is that going to assume the children are killers themselves? Again, I think there's a certain line of Greg Johnson's philosophy where it's like he's just being a bitch transgressive. Like sometimes I almost get offended by Greg Johnson because he's just literally being like a homo nat, like transgressive person, where it's just like enough is enough, dude. Stop reading Boyd Rice. Like I almost feel like that. He's just taking up the Boyd Rice pill and writing this shit sometimes,
He should just eat some tacos.
I don't think he likes tacos.
Yeah, isn't he gay anyway?
Yeah, he's a homo nat. I mean, I assume that, but I think he's either, my friend Alex said he's either asexual or just like, I think he's just transgressive and homo nat, but he's a nice person. It's just that some of his stuff is white supremacist, and it's just like, it's a little, he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's a queer. And it's just like,
I thought he was bisexual.
I mean, I don't know. He could be bisexual. He might have had a girlfriend and didn't work out, I mean, I'm a little bisexual myself. I'm not gonna lie there, but it's just like whatever. But again, I think, let me read the last paragraph. The underlying assumption of this argument is that even though genetic determinism is an immensely powerful force, our beliefs about what is determined by our genes also have the power to alter our feelings and course of our lives. This makes sense, for we would be ill-suited for survival if the only formation we could use were hardwired into our genes. The evidence of our senses and the powers of our reason are tools for securing survival and the pursuing happiness. If these words can change your beliefs, they can change your life for the better. But again, he's like, it's Johnson's weird because he like assumes everything genetic. He assumes everything's like race realism, J. Philippe Rushton. Like, it's not like a Jared Taylor form of like nice race realism. It's like this form of whites are the best, and if you're retarded, you don't deserve to be a part of the aristocracy. It's like really extreme, and I just feel like, how is this going to uplift the proletariat? You know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really funny. Maria Van Court, who has the eugenics.net website, even wrote a comment saying, "Brilliant, wonderfully well written. I remember reading a
Who's
study
Maria
by
Van
Carter."
Court?
Yeah, another eugenicist actually praises Johnson right here for saying that it's just ultimately eugenics for having similar traits what your parents have. You know, if this eugenics is real, then why won't we have sex with a bunch of Asians and create Asianarianism and create like a sedative, entirely intellectual class of people, right? I mean, if eugenics are true, why don't blacks and whites mix together, create a mulatto futuristic class of high IQ black people? I mean, that's what some black people actually believe, right?
Yeah.
It's true.
That was
Like Candace Owens believes it. I mean, it's just there's no denying that there's this on the fence about eugenics up over in that, you know. That's what are you gonna do, right?
yeah. You still in Philly or have you moved somewhere else?
I'm still in Philadelphia. Where are you? You're in Memphis?
Gonna do.
Are you in Tennessee still?
I'm in Alderaan.
Oswald Spengler said, did Greg Johnson snort coke with Richard Spencer? No. But Richard Spencer did snort coke. A friend did, I know, dealt him coke. And I was
And
shocked.
it reminds me, did you ever watch Kim McGurry Orange Road?
Was that?
Kim, I'm not saying that right. It was a Japanese anime from like I think Kim.
Oh my God, you're breaking up again. Well, Russian Salad, I do read my chat if you're still listening. This is Oswald Spengler and Russian Salad in the chat.
Hey, how many obscure anime do you know?
What animes I know?
Yeah, like obscure anime.
Pataleo. I love Pataleo.
Let's see. I know Key the Metal Idol, Cicada. There was this one show where this guy was a police officer. It was cool.
Mm.
It's called
It's called what?
Kanuki Man. Well, that wasn't the name of the show. That's the name of another show. But
You know, I'm just still reading the comments compared to Greg Johnson's little echo chamber about, you know, Gen X says blame your parents. But the irony is that like everyone who agrees with Greg Johnson are like older people that came from like the boomer era. And it's like, no, there are right reasons to blame your parents. Like if you have a fucked up dad, it's okay to say that.
how old is Greg Johnson anyway?
He's like 45. It's like 20 years older than me. 20.
No, he was older than that.
No, he's not. He's not 50. He's like below 50. He's still pretty not close to middle age, but almost to middle age.
You should get him a black stripper for his birthday.
That'd be funny. I like black girls. I had sex with one actually last year.
Yeah, you know what you should do? You should hire Pinky the porn star to be his birthday.
Was that?
Yeah. I said you should hire. Yeah, he'd just be funny, you know, because he's like a white supremacist.
Hmm. Yeah, it's whatever.
I mean, I don't know how far he thinks he's gonna get with that ideology.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I read his book and you know, and I thought it was kind of silly. He wrote like at the beginning or something. I don't know. He romanticized about getting rid of all the minorities in America.
No, I'm very libertarian when it comes to other women. Like I just believe that men should have sex with anyone they can have. You know, people say it's unethical. Well, if society was right, then men would have wives by their 20 when they're 20 years old, right? And marry like a woman by she's 16 or 17. I mean, that's like the old world, right? But today everything's chaotic. It's like men are more disposed to being colonial and you can have sex with anyone you want, including other men. So it's like a form of not just domination, but if there was no condoms and are like, I always
Yeah,
myself these would be more Assyrian. Like people would just be popping babies out of everywhere and like
hey, you know about the Vickloft and like crap, what's the guy's name? The other artistic layman. I mean, what do you
what
think about him?
think about what?
The Vickloft.
I don't know. The Beckloff, yeah. Sometimes I watch the Beckloff. That's like Matt Forney world, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I could be on Matt Forney's channel, but like after that Jim Goad Matt Forney dissed, it's really savage because like it's like I like Matt Forney a lot. I do like Jim Goad, but the thing is like Jim Goad wants you like he has this weird disability goad and he wants you to dislike him just because he strives on that. Yet at the same time, he has a nice position in liberal society, Jim Goad, and wants you to hate him as this like avant-garde art piece. Same with Boyd Rice. And it's like, yeah, it's been done before. And it's
I
just like
still can't believe I talked to him. He was cool, right?
I know he likes you. You get the pass, Cartrell. You're black. That's why you're cool. And Jim Goad is basically like a black kid in a white kid's body, but he's just a white liberal about it. So you get the pass, Cartrell. So you're the cool guy. Like everybody wants to be like Cartrell. But like for me, to him, I'm just some white nerd or I'm a square, because he's so cool because he listens to skinhead music. It's like all so cliche. It literally is very petty. And it's just like this is basically what the whole alt-right has became, like a transgressive art fag scene, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, Charlottesville really fucked him up, man.
Should call it. Sorry, I'm still actually reading. Oh boy. Well, whatchamacallit? I don't know if there's anything else to say. I think I'm gonna have dinner in the sun setting. I might just want to go bike. I always go biking like some kind of West End. I'm a cyclist, and so I like going really fast on my bike as a workout session.
Oh my god, that's so hipster.
Dude, it is. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. So my girlfriend's coming.
Why did I get the feeling that when you were a kid, you were kind of like that kid off of home movies?
Pretty much. I don't have any tattoos, and if I did have a tattoo, it would be some really artsy tattoo. I literally thought about getting the Juju crosses under my arm, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to because I don't want to be thinking like I don't want to have like because if you have tattoos, you got mental issues, and I've never had tattoos. I'm all about like staying fit. But at the same time, it's like it's so annoying today that like the hipster mentality or the bobo mentality is so like soy boy and cucked. I absolutely hate it. Like I like Richard Spencer's mentality about it, but like Spencer's going out of control. He's like drinking beer and snorting coke. Like I'm kind of straight edge. Like I don't like that. I
Hey, I got to ask a question. Do you think Jesse Lee Peterson is really saying all the shit he believes, or is he just fucking, or is he just saying stuff for money, or is he off the bomb? Because I really hate the guy. I really hate the guy.
just yeah, he's doing it for both. Antifa calls him a tool. I think he's more like a normal black dude who like saw the double standard, and then out of this eccentric mentality, he just went on this like kind of not self. It's not self hate. It's like more like this reactionary position.
No, I mean, the guy is basically a real life Uncle Ruckus.
Well,
I've never seen anybody like compliment white people so much. Yes, he has. They're like, Jesus Christ, this guy. right here.
He just wants a good society. That's all what he wants. But it's like whatever. Like I do listen to him time to time, but he's like this old fashioned conservatism, which is like so reactionary. It's like Bill Cosby type of black, where you're like blaming other black people for their downfalls, and you have to be ethical about it. You know?
Yeah, sometimes I wonder if he thinks he's white. Like, I wonder if he even realizes that he's a
I think
black
he's
guy.
some kind of like mulatto futurist. Like he believes the brown future is going to be like nice, like
I
intellectual.
think you're giving him too much credit. I mean, he is just a stupid person. He's just a stupid reactionary conservative. There's nothing deep about him. He's just a dumb guy.
I don't.
He's not smart. He's not educated. He says dumb shit without backing it up. He always just says stuff out of his mouth without actually doing any research. I mean, he's not a smart guy.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like he'll just say stuff out of nowhere just to get attention. You know, I think a lot of people do that today as well. I mean, if it doesn't bleed, it won't lead. You know. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go. What else? I think I'm gonna go ride my bike. Get my paycheck from the vet, and maybe I might buy. Maybe I might play my first video game in forever and do a Twitch stream. I might play Dragon Quest 11. Like Akira Toriyama, Dragon Ball, and might actually play my first video game in over like.
What you should do is you should buy like Walking Dead game.
I don't play video games, but I'm about to like. I really like artsy things, and I like. I mean, I like traditional games, but I don't like video games. And I'm this one video game that came out, Dragon Quest 11. It's like it looks really pretty. I love Dragon Ball art direction, and I just really like the whole Japanese thing. I'm maybe about to get it. Maybe you might do a Twitch stream, do Leader play it, and be like low levels of Matt 40 doing Twitch or something. I don't know. I got all these ideas in my head. So, but other than that, I'll be on Nico and Shane tonight. Other than that,
You'll be on what?
Nico and Shane, the Hapa Supremacy Month. I'll be on that tonight in about a few hours.
Cool.
Yeah. Look, just talk about Eurasian issues. So, yeah, I'm gonna go do that. Have a nice night, Carchel. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Peace.